When the war ended, he was the last surviving British sniper who had gone ashore on D-Day. His legacy demonstrates what British training produced. Not just a good shot, a complete hunter, a patient observer, a disciplined professional who understood that sniper warfare was about systematic application of skill over time. But perhaps the most remarkable British sniper achievement came from a New Zealander serving in British commanded forces. Sergeant Alfred Clive Hume of the 23rd Battalion, 2nd New Zealand Expeditionary Force. The Battle of Cree, May 1941. German paratroopers had dropped across Cree in the largest airborne invasion ever attempted. The fighting was desperate and confused. Both sides struggled to establish control. German doctrine emphasized using snipers to eliminate Allied officers and establish psychological dominance. They positioned snipers to cover key terrain and slow Allied movements. Hume turned their doctrine against them. Over 8 days from May 20th to May 28th, 1941, Hume was credited with killing on the order of 30 German snipers. A remarkable tally, all through deliberate counter-sniper operations. He used captured German equipment to deceive his enemies. After killing his first German sniper, Hume took the man's camouflage smock and sniper rifle. He wore the German equipment while stalking other German positions. German snipers would see what appeared to be one of their own. They would relax their guard for a moment. That moment was fatal. Hume's tactics demonstrated British sniper training at its finest: use of deception, patience, and stalking, precision shooting when the opportunity came, systematic elimination of enemy specialists. On May 28th, while stalking his 34th sniper, Hume was wounded in the shoulder. Despite his wound, he continued fighting. He bayoneted a German sentry guarding New Zealand prisoners. He could not use his rifle for fear of hitting the prisoners. Then he charged a German mortar crew at Stylos, wounded alone. He broke up their position through sheer aggression. For these actions, Hume received the Victoria Cross. The citation specifically noted his exceptional counter-sniper work, credited with eliminating on the order of 30 enemy snipers, each one a trained German specialist, each one a threat to Allied forces removed permanently. No other Allied sniper achieved comparable counter-sniper success in a single campaign. Hume's 8-day total exceeded what most snipers achieved in years of combat. This was British sniper training in action. The selection process identified a man with the right temperament. The training gave him the skills. The doctrine allowed him to operate independently using his judgment. The result was devastating effectiveness. Commonwealth forces contributed significantly to British sniper operations across all theaters. Canadian sniper sections operated with distinction in Italy and Northwest Europe. Sergeant Harold, Marshal of the Calgary Highlanders, became one of the most photographed British Empire snipers. The image shows him in camouflage with Kukri and Mills grenade at Capelin, Belgium in October 1944. He wore a modified Denison smock with improvements he made himself, cuffs from socks, full-length zip, special pocket for his telescope, face veil, every detail optimized for his mission through personal innovation. Canadian infantry battalions maintained scout and sniper platoon led by lieutenants. These platoon handled reconnaissance ahead of the battalion and sniper operations. The organizational emphasis again shows British Commonwealth doctrine. Concentration of specialists rather than dispersion across platoon. Australian snipers operated in North Africa and the Pacific. South African forces contributed sniper sections in Italy. Indian Army snipers fought in Burma. New Zealand provided some of the finest shots in British service. This Commonwealth contribution multiplied British sniper effectiveness. Training standards remained consistent. Equipment was standardized. Doctrine was shared. The result was a coherent sniper force spanning multiple nations, but operating with unified excellence. Italy provided perhaps the ideal terrain for British sniper operations. The Italian campaign from 1943 to 1945 featured mountain warfare, close country, static positions, long ranges, everything that favored patient, skilled snipers over mass deployment. Monte Cassino, January to May 1944, showed both the challenges British snipers faced and their effectiveness when properly employed. German 1st Follower Division held the monastery at top a 17,006 ft hill. They had elevation advantage, perfect observation over Allied approaches, natural cover in the rocky terrain. German snipers inflicted steady casualties on Allied forces trying to advance. The monastery ruins provided endless hiding spots. Rubble created concealment. Allied artillery actually helped German snipers by creating more debris to hide in. British and Commonwealth snipers worked to counter the German threat. They set up positions in forward areas, used their observation skills to map German positions, called in artillery strikes on identified sniper locations. The 28th Maui Battalion took over 60% casualties at the railway station. German snipers killed runners and signalers to disrupt communications. Without communications, Allied attacks broke down. But when British snipers could establish good positions, they dominated their fields of fire. Captain Seward documented one engagement near the Foglio River. British snipers watched the far bank where Germans changed sentries every hour. At first, the Germans were cautious. British snipers showed restraint. They did not shoot at difficult targets. They waited for the Germans to become complacent, to assume the British were not watching, to relax their guard. Later in the day, 6 Germans exposed themselves from the waist up. 4 British snipers were in position. Each selected a target. They fired simultaneously. 3 Germans fell. The 4th was wounded. Before the survivors could react, the British snipers had extracted. This engagement shows British sniper doctrine perfectly. Patient observation, waiting for optimal opportunities, disciplined fire control, coordinated action, immediate extraction. The Gothic Lion operations from August to December 1944 saw Canadian 1st Corps assault fortified mountain positions. Private L.V. Hughes of the Canadian 48th Highlanders was documented sniping German positions near the Foglio River. The rugged terrain and static front lines created ideal sniper conditions. Both sides employed snipers extensively. The difference was training quality. German snipers were often infantrymen given basic instruction and a scoped rifle. British Commonwealth snipers were specialists with months of training. When sniper-dueled sniper training quality determined outcomes, North Africa presented different challenges. The open desert did not favor sniper operations. Long ranges suited armored vehicles and artillery. Minimal vegetation offered little concealment. Extreme heat affected both equipment and men. But wherever the fighting moved to close country, British snipers proved their worth. Tunisia and Sicily saw increased sniper activity as the terrain changed from open desert to broken ground. The Long-Range Desert Group, formed in June 1940, conducted reconnaissance and raiding operations. While not primarily a sniper unit, LRDG patrols included skilled marksmen. They operated deep behind enemy lines, gathering intelligence and disrupting communications. When static positions formed, such as during the Siege of Tobruk or the Lamagny battles, snipers came into their own. British positions would have designated snipers watching no man's land continuously. Any German who exposed himself risked immediate accurate fire. The 1st Airborne Division earned particular recognition for sniper effectiveness. During Operation Market Garden at Arnhem in September 1944, 1st Airborne snipers were noted as very feared by their German opponents due to their preference for headshot. This detail reveals British sniper confidence. Center mass shots were easier and more forgiving. Headshot required perfect calculation and steady aim. That British snipers consistently attempted headshot shows how thoroughly they trusted their training and equipment. The Rhine Crossing, Operation Plunder, in March 1945, demonstrated British combined arms competence with sniper support. The 51st Highland Division crossed under massive smoke screens. Snipers from 3 Blackwell Watch battalions provided covering fire. The 6th Airborne Division conducted the largest single-lift daylight airborne operation in history, Operation Varsity. On March 24th, 7,200 British paratroopers deployed with sniper sections integrated into the force. They suffered severe casualties from German anti-aircraft fire and ground defenses, but they secured their objectives, and the snipers immediately began counter-sniper work. Throughout the Northwest Europe campaign from D-Day to V-Day, British snipers maintained their professional edge. They adapted to changing terrain: urban warfare in Bocage fighting in Normandy, open tank country toward Files, forest fighting in the Ardennes, river crossings, city fighting in Germany. Every environment demanded different techniques. British training had prepared snipers for this variety. Soviet snipers trained primarily for the Eastern Front conditions. They excelled in rubble and ruins. British snipers operated effectively anywhere. The strategic impact of British sniper operations exceeded their small numbers. 8 men per battalion, perhaps a few thousand qualified snipers across the entire British Army by 1945. But those few thousand achieved disproportionate results. There,